it will not do you any good to throw the ball off the backboard and rebound, because that does not simulate a shot and will not help you with anticipation. Make sure you chin the ball every time and that your elbows are up. Once you have mastered the skill of rebounding, that is, you do it the right way every time, then when you rebound, throw an outlet pass to a wall or a tossback. Do this drill 10 times. To simulate offensive rebounding, toss the ball up on the rim, rebound, and shoot a jump hook. Do this 10 times. The next 10 should be tipped in, or if you are feeling energetic after you tip, rebound out of the net and shoot a power move. Defense is the last skill to be learned by a player, and a lot of the time it is never learned. I have heard a lot of coaches say that all that is needed on defense is hard work and hustle. That is only 2 of the ingredients required in a category that needs a multitude of skills. Defense is a very complex skill and has many parts to make it work, both in physical and mental terms. It gives the word multitasking a whole new meaning. Learning to defend is made difficult because it requires a player to do so many things at the same time, and there are so many facets attached to the skill. The main reason that players do not excel on this end of the floor is first and foremost due to the fact that they do not practice defensive technique and rehearse situations which occur in a game. Can you imagine trying to play on the offensive end without ever working on shooting? Defense requires lateral quickness and an ability to keep one foot on the ground at all times. This is what the eraser drill teaches: moving quickly, not bringing your feet together, and staying low to the ground. Try to set this drill up over 45 to 50 feet, but if you are restricted in space, then use the space you have. Use 3 blocks of wood, chalkboard, eraser, or something equivalent in size. Wear ankle weights and a weighted belt to do all defensive drills, if you have them. You need to be as quick as possible, but concentrate on not bringing your feet together. Stay close to the ground, do not come up and down, stay as low as possible. Always keep your near side hand free to pick up the eraser, then transfer it to the trailing hand. Make sure you start with 1 foot on the starting line and that you touch the line or a point at the other side before returning. If you miss or fumble an eraser, do not stop to pick it up, just go on to the next one. You are striving to cover the 45 feet and back in under 8 seconds. That's without weight. An excellent time would be 7.5 seconds if done correctly. Do this drill twice a day. Like all quickness drills, they are done in short bursts and every day. They are not done now and again. They are done every day. That is, every single day. 365 days a year, and they are done over several years. You simply cannot improve quickness doing drills now and again. It is a waste of time if you are not prepared to make that commitment. The next drill is another of those that just looks too simple to have to practice. That is precisely why there are so few that can do it properly. Simulate a situation when you are guarding a player who is holding the ball above his head, looking to pass. You are right up on him, body to body. Your knees are bent and your feet are wide apart. One hand is up shadowing the ball, the other hand is down and slightly outwards. Your objective is to make him turn his back on the play and put the ball on the floor in a dribble. You do not want the ball handler picking the pass he wants to make. You want him to have to pass because he is under pressure. He is not going to pass as well off the dribble as he does in a stationary position. When you are this close to the ball handler, you are vulnerable to getting beat. This is why your feet are placed so wide. If you are too narrow, he will just go by you. When he brings the ball down from above his head, he is going to go into the dribble. You must go 2 steps back to create a gap and go into a dribble defense mode. Knees bent, back bent, feet wide, and hands down and outwards. Look wide and intimidating. Do this drill in front of a mirror or a window to check your form and technique. Each time you do this drill, alternate the foot that you drop first. This is a quickness drill. Concentrate on staying low and quick to create a gap between you and the ball handler so he cannot go by you. Remember, they are going to shoot a lower percentage from outside as opposed to getting a layup every time. Do this drill 10 times. Now you have to work on forcing the dribble and controlling the ball handler, not letting him get past you, which would defeat the purpose of the pressure. Go 2 steps back, then cut off the ball handler. The rule on defending a dribbler is to keep an arm's length gap, one hand down and in front to stop the crossover dribble, the other hand down and out to deflect the pass and keep your head in line with the ball. Don't let him go where he wants to go. Cut him off. Keep him changing direction. You control him. He does not control or beat you. Alternate the foot you drop each time. If the ball handler goes to his right, you must drop your left foot straight back first, then your right foot moving into a defensive stance, pushing off with your right foot to block the dribbler's path. Do this drill 10 times. Practice using the defensive glide and changing direction by doing the zigzag drill. Start in the corner of the court or a grass area, gliding at a 25 to 30 degree angle to a fixed point 20 feet or so away from the start. Drop the trailing foot, gliding in the other direction to the other line. Change direction 4 or 5 times. Go up and back twice, a total of 4. If you have ankle weights and a belt, use them. You have to turn into a run when you get beat, so in the next drill, use the same principle, covering a little wider distance of 30 feet or whatever space you have. Go 2 steps back, glide about 7 to 10 feet, then go into a run. Do not rise up when you run, stay low to the floor. Take 3 running steps and return to a glide. Start again with the 2 steps back drill and repeat, going the other way. Do a total of 4. Simulate defense on an imaginary offensive player who is playing the wing position. Start your defense position on the block, playing off and toward the ball, which is at the point position at the top of the key. The imaginary player is going to cut from the block to the sideline. To be a good defender, you must have good peripheral vision. The only time you will focus on one thing is when you are guarding the man with the ball. When your man does not have the ball, you must be able to see the man with the ball and your own man without turning your head to focus on one or the other. You must always see the midpoint between the two. The good passer knows that his teammate is open if a defender turns his head to focus on his man and will put the pass right past his ear. A cutter knows he is open when a defender turns his head to focus on the man with the ball and will cut behind him to the basket or open space. To work on your peripheral vision, put a chair or a bin at a wing and a chair at the point as you do this drill. Glide up and back, staying side on to passing lane with the near side hand fully extended from the shoulders straight out to deflect the pass. You never want to lunge at the ball. Keep one foot on the floor at all times and keep your balance. So if your man catches the ball, you can move immediately to an on-the-ball defensive position. Glide out to the sideline and back to the block 3 times. Rest and repeat another 3. Then do the same thing on the other side of the lane. When a breakdown occurs, that is when one of your teammates gets beat by his man. You will need to help him. To simulate this, you will pretend that your man is on the baseline about 7 feet from the key, opposite the ball handler. You are opened up to the lane, seeing the man and the ball. Again, you may want to use chairs or bins to improve your peripheral vision. You simulate the breakdown by turning to run, not glide into the help position, trying to pick up the ball handler before he enters the lane. The tendency when players go to help is to put both hands fully extended above their head, stand straight up, feet together, and hope the offensive player will run into them. It won't happen, so get rid of that habit. You will have to defend the ball handler who is moving forward at speed, so you will have to give ground by initially going backwards. The objective is to make the offensive player take a shot outside of the key. Don't give up the layup. Bother the shot and block out to the rebound. Do this drill 6 times on each side of the key. You will not always be the closest defender to the ball handler in a breakdown situation. The next drill is to simulate breakdown with you being the furthermost defender. Start at the guard position, denying the ball. Moving in the glide, go up and back twice, then go into a help position, opening up to the lane at the free throw line. There is now an imaginary baseline breakdown. The offensive player is driving to the basket. Your teammate, who has been guarding a player on your side of the floor, moves to stop the ball handler. which leaves his man wide open. You must drop down to the baseline under the basket to deflect or steal any pass made to your teammate's man. The only offensive player who is completely open should be your man, who is furthermost from the play and has the poorest percentage shot at basket. The pass is thrown over the top to your man. You must now react again to this pass. Run at the offensive player, who is now into his shooting motion, as you jump to bother his shot. Do this drill 3 times on each side. Once you establish yourself as a good defensive player, understanding the principles of different situations, then use these drills just as quickness drills, cutting the repetitions down to 2 each. If you are really weak at any facet, then spend more time on that particular facet. To increase quickness, drills must be done every day. They do not take much time, but are ineffective if not regimentally pursued every day for an extensive period. In order to improve hand quickness, the best of the drills is the coin trick. Starting out by placing 1-penny coins on the back of the hand, the coin is tossed a couple of feet into the air and snatched as it passes at eye level. Move on to 2 coins and then 3. Spend 2 minutes a day on each hand. You will of course have to spend more time learning to do this drill at first, but once learned, just do the 2 minutes on each hand. Do this drill in front of a wall and away from people and breakables, because the coins can get out of control until you learn to do the drill. The ball clap drill. The ball is placed at the back of the head. The tendency is to lean forward as you release the ball. Stay straight and clap your hands together in front of you and catch the ball behind you. Move to 2 claps, then 3. Spend 1 minute on this drill. Dribble pickup. Dribble a ball at your side. When the ball comes back into the hand, take the ball as quickly as possible to the other hand, which remains straight out from your side. Do not bring the off hand towards the ball. The dribble hand brings the ball over to the other side. Dribble the ball at your side, not in front. When the ball comes back up, take it quickly to the other hand. Do this drill in 10-second spurts, resting for 10 seconds in between sets. Do this drill for 2 minutes. Jump rope in 10-second spurts. As quickly as you can, jump rope like a boxer, with crossovers and side to side with the rope. If you don't know how to jump rope this way, you will have to learn. Spend whatever time it takes you to learn to jump the rope like a boxer. If you cannot do this drill with good pace, you will not be able to improve your quickness. Jump for 10 seconds and rest for 10. Do this drill for 2 minutes. Grass drill. Get into a defensive position and move your feet up and down as quickly as possible, turning to your right and then returning to the original position, then turn to your left and return to that position. Do this drill for 10-second spurts and then rest for 10 seconds. Defensive open up drill. Get down in a defensive denial position, then open up into a help position, then close back up into a denial position. Do the drill in 10-second spurts and rest for 10 seconds. Alternate the denial between right and left sides. Do this drill for 2 minutes. The 2-minute duration on these drills includes the rest, so it's 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off for 2 minutes. Jumping is not the be-all and end-all of a basketball player, and it is more important to be quick, but it does help if you can at least get your hand on the rim. When doing this routine, make sure you do not at any time jump on any hard surface such as concrete or flooring laid down on concrete. Always jump on a soft surface like grass, sand, or something like a tumbling mat. This routine is done in connection with weightlifting by doing squats, leg press, leg extensions, leg curl, and heel raises. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, days when the weightlifting takes place, you will do the jumping routine with ankle weights and a weighted belt or vest. After doing a set of squats, you will go to the jumping area where a tennis ball will be suspended on a string. The ball height needs to be adjusted to a point that you can't quite reach when you take one step and jump. You want to be about a ½ inch away. Mark the string where it is tied off. To begin the routine, place one foot under the ball, taking one step, jump and try to touch the ball. When you land, make sure that you absorb the landing by going into a fairly deep knee bend, which should not be any further than you would sit in a chair. Bend at the back and bring your hands well behind you, and jump again, extend to reach for the ball. Absorb the shock of landing again with the knees bent and the back bent. Do not under any circumstances land with straight legs and a straight back, or on one leg. This puts too much stress on the knees and the back and will cause damage. Plus, it defeats the purpose of strengthening the legs and the back muscles. If you touch the ball at any time, move the ball up by 1/2 inch. Alternate the foot you step with each time you take a jump. Do 5 sets of jumps, which will be a total of 10 jumps. You will start out with 3 sets in the first week, increasing by 1 set each week to a maximum of 5 sets per session. On Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, you will jump without the weight, so you will need to increase the height of the ball accordingly. You will jump only once and are allowed 2 steps into the jump. Mark the string so that it can be distinguished from the weight day jumps. Take a total of 10 jumps. If you touch the ball on any jump, move the ball up by 1/2 inch and remark the string. Sometimes when kids are growing, they often encounter pain in and around the knee joint. To use this jumping routine at that time would be unwise and counterproductive. Sometimes the pain can be so severe and so persistent that the wisest thing to do is to stop sporting activity for 3 to 4 weeks. If you experience a persistent pain in the knee or just below the patella tendon, then stop the jumping until the symptom completely subsides. If you are going to do any sport at any level, you must build a body to go with that sport. It will take strength, endurance, and flexibility to play basketball. It would be a serious tactical error on your part to ignore the fact that what protects the skeletal structure is muscle. Male or female, you need to start straight away in building a body. If you are under 16, you will need to do the following exercise every other day. A good muscle structure is your armor and the only protection you have against injury. 1 or 2-legged squats. Use a chair or something equivalent to keep your balance. Do not bend any further than you would sit in a chair. Do between 15 and 20 reps. If it is easy to do the 2-legged squat at 20 reps, then move to a 1-legged squat. Burpees. Bend into a squat position with hands on the floor. Shoot the legs back into a push-up position. Return to the squat, then extend up with a jump off the floor, and repeat 15 to 20 times. Heel raises. Put the balls of your feet on a 2x4 or a stair. Lift the heels up as high as possible, holding for a split second at the top and returning slowly to the starting position. Do 15 to 20 repetitions. If this is too easy, then move to doing 1 foot at a time. Dips. While sitting in a chair, place your hands on the front corners of the chair and lift yourself up and away from the front of the chair. Slowly lower yourself towards the floor. When you have gone down as far as you can, then push yourself up, extending your arms. Do this 15 to 20 times. Push-ups. Keep your back straight, lowering your chest to within 3 inches of the floor, 15 to 20 reps. Crunches. These are very short-range sit-ups with knees bent, feet flat on the floor, keeping hands in front on the chest. Do not bring your hands behind your head. Lift towards the thighs, coming back down to just where the lower back touches the floor, and rise again towards the thighs. Keep constant tension on the abdominal muscles. If the crunches are too easy for you, then lift your feet off the floor. Squat thrusts. With hands on the floor, feet underneath you, as if you were a sprinter ready to begin a race, shoot the feet back into a push-up position and return to the start. Repeat 15 to 20 times. Bench jumps. Place a bench or an object that is about 8 inches high on the ground next to you. Jump back and forth over the object. Make sure you absorb the landing each time by bending the knees and the back. Do 15 to 20 jumps. If you struggle, then reduce the repetitions. If you have persistent knee pain, then do not do this exercise. Forearm balances. The body is stretched out face down on the floor with the weight supported on the forearms and the toes. Keep your head up and hold for 30 seconds. Hold the position longer if this is easy for you. You may also alternate by holding yourself up on one arm and then back to two and then to the other arm. Trunk raises. Lay flat on the floor, hands by each side of your head and palms down. Lift the head and trunk and hands up as far as possible. If you struggle, then leave the hands on the floor, but do not use them to push yourself up. Use your back muscles to lift. Do 15 to 20 reps, but if you are struggling, then reduce the reps and work up to a larger number. This is a very important exercise for a basketball player. Strengthen your lower back muscles. When approaching a decision to lift weights, you must take the same view as that of a doctor towards his patients. Do no harm. It is imperative that you build a body through weight training without causing injury to yourself. You must become knowledgeable before you begin the regime. Read, study, take a course, and talk to people who know about weight training. First and foremost is protecting your back against injury. Whenever you pick weight up from the floor, make sure your back stays straight and you use your legs to lift the weight. Keep your head up and don't jerk the weight. If at all possible, you do not want to continually pick weight up from the floor. It is better if the weight can be stored on a bench or a table. Ensure that you are sufficiently warmed up before you begin lifting. It is important when you are lifting that you are at no time hold your breath. You must breathe as normally as possible. Exhale when lifting or pushing the weight in a positive motion, and inhale when returning the weight to its starting position or the negative motion. Be very disciplined when doing the exercise. Do not overstrain or try to cheat by leaning with the body or jerking the weight. Just work the muscles which are specific to the exercise you are doing. Use a 1-2 count in the positive or lifting motion and a 1-2-3-4 count in the negative motion. You control the weight does not control you. If you can get access to a health club or a gym and work consistently, that would be the best, as the clubs have weight equipment which saves the back having to change weights to a barbell or a dumbbell. If you do lift at home, you will at least need a weight bench, preferably with a bench press and a barbell stand, to save you picking the weight up from the floor. The weight bench should also have a leg extension and a leg curl apparatus.